If you're a guy who's been trying to lose weight for months or maybe even years now, but the scale weight barely moves, or every time it does move, it just jumps straight back up, this video is for you. Because you're probably training hard and you've cleaned up your diet more times than you can count. You've tried cutting carbs, skipping meals, maybe even taking a few supplements, but still you look in the mirror and there's no change. And you're thinking, why isn't this working? The truth is that most men who struggle to lose weight aren't lazy. They're just making these common diet mistakes without even realising it. So in this video, I'm going to break down the 5 biggest mistakes that most guys make when it comes to getting lean and finally losing body fat. And once you spot them, fixing them becomes a lot easier. Number 1 is focusing way too much on the small details. And especially nowadays with the amplification of social media, knowledge has become so much more accessible, which is a great thing, but it also comes at a downfall because you also learn a shitload of completely irrelevant information that you, at the stage you're at right now, should not be even thinking about, let alone hyperfixating on. Like your meal timings and when to eat pre-workout and when to eat post-workout and whether or not to eat past 6 p.m. or an hour before you go to bed. These are all things that sure probably have some benefit when it comes to fat loss, but it's tiny point decimal place percentages compared to the main components that you should be focusing on when it comes to losing body fat. And all the information becomes overwhelming and it gets to a point where you get paralysis by analysis. That's what I'm trying to say. And it's basically where you're analysing so much different information and your brain's trying to compute everything that you just end up being paralysed. And all the information that you were consuming to help you take action is now preventing you from even taking action in the first place. So you need to stop worrying about the tiny details before you've even nailed the basics. And that's why the effort you're putting in doesn't match the results you're getting. So the fix for this is focus on these 4 things, step by step. Number 1 is focus on your calories first. Ultimately, whether or not you lose fat is always going to come down to a calorie deficit. Second, you need to be focusing on your protein above any other micronutrient, macronutrient. Set them aside. For now, carbs and fats don't matter. Ignore them. All I want you to focus on is your protein intake. And the way I want you to do that is make sure you're having protein with every meal throughout the day. Don't have a meal without looking at it, thinking, where is the protein coming from? An example is for your breakfast, you could have some Greek yogurt. For your lunch, you could put some chicken with that. For your dinner, you could have another animal-based thing. Think salmon, chicken, turkey, beef, whatever you want. And in the evening, have a protein shake. That gives you 4 hits of protein, probably all sitting anywhere between 20 and 40 grams each. That's going to total you between 150 and 200 grams of protein, which for most people is more than enough. The third thing is focus on your consistency. So you're tracking your calories consistently and paying attention to that to make sure you're in a deficit. And you're actively making a conscious effort to have protein with every single meal. Just stick to those basics of calories and protein 7 days a week, consistently over time, and suddenly your body will start changing. And the fourth thing is focusing on all the other shit after you've nailed that, because that is the fundamental basics of what creates a physical transformation. Mistake 2 is thinking in black and white, only focusing on good foods and bad foods. I need you to remove that mindset from your brain. Yes, there are better, more nutritious foods, and foods that aren't as goal aligned. But we simply call that goal aligned foods and foods for enjoyment. It's not that one's bad and one's good. It's just that one will probably support you to your goal a little bit quicker. And the other one is just there because you enjoy it. That's fine. To create a complete balanced diet, we want a bit of both. The rule that I usually go for with all of my clients and myself is follow the 80-20 rule. 80% of your diet is full up of foods that are goal aligned, reflective of your goals, and you know are helping you advance towards losing fat, changing your physique. But then you always budget an extra 20% within your daily calories for foods that you can just enjoy. When I lost 17 kilos, I was making sure every day that I had a few calories left within the evening to have a couple of biscuits with, to have a small bit of cake because my missus is always baking, so there's always food like that around the house. Or when I was dieting, I had this weird obsession with chocolate fingers for a while, so I was having a couple of them a night. My point isn't necessarily what it is you're having, but it's just having some calories set aside to have foods simply because you enjoy them. And this allows you to have much better balance and not feel guilty for having them because you've already kind of pre-planned them in your diet. If you stack that with the fix that we made in mistake 1, where you're just focusing on the consistency with your calories and your protein, you can enjoy this flexibility, still stay on track and still see results. If you stay in this fixed mindset of good foods and bad foods, all that's going to create is fear around food. It's going to lead to guilt and over-restriction, and that isn't sustainable long term. Mistake 3, and this is a very common one, is making sudden or extreme restrictions within your diet. An example of this could be slashing your calories overnight. If you're eating a certain amount of calories and then you try and half your diet overnight, it's no wonder you can't stick to things. If you notice your dog was overweight, you wouldn't start starving it. So why do you treat yourself like that? It makes no sense. A better idea is to steadily scale down your calories over time so you can get used to each phase as you go. Your hunger can adapt, your energy levels can adapt, and your body will just start burning through the fat just step by step so you can sustainably drop the body fat over time. You can't undo a year, 2 years, 3 years, maybe even 10 years of bad habits overnight. This has to be something that you're willing to work on step by step, long term. So the fix for this is to make small, realistic changes over time. Gradually decrease your calories. Gradually increase your training. Start implementing a couple of cardio sessions, then increase the length of the cardio sessions, then increase the days that you're doing the cardio. All around, keeping 2 to 3 to 4 structured weight training days in your program. It's not about making a sudden change overnight, it's just about those small consistent changes added up, and it will start working for you, then against you. The fourth mistake is relying on supplements. I think people have a weird obsession with what supplements should I be taking, when in actuality it doesn't matter. I've been training for 7 years at this point, I've seen great results, and the only supplements I've ever taken is protein powder and creatine. Two of the most basic supplements that you can take. I've been asked about fat burners and whether or not it's worth taking them to increase the amount of body fat you're burning. I've been asked about BCAAs to increase your energy during workouts. All of that stuff is fucking irrelevant if you're not in a calorie deficit. You're looking for the small 1% marginal gains on top of the 99% of shit that you're not doing. It's the fitness equivalent of driving around a Renault Clio with a straight piped exhaust that starts popping and crackling. It's still a shit car just because you've got a loud exhaust on it. And ultimately, all you're doing is just spending your money and wasting it. You can take the best supplements in the world, but if you're still eating too many calories, your body's not shifting any body fat. And what they definitely do not do is fix poor consistency. Losing fat, as I said, is all about the consistency and the willingness to keep showing up. Supplements are not a shortcut. They're a supplement for what you're already doing. It's in the name. It's not called a replacement. So the fix for this, similar to step 1, is focus on protein with every single meal. But on top of that, focus on eating a whole food dense, nutrient dense diet. This doesn't mean you need to start cutting out all processed foods and only focus on foods that have been grown or locally sourced. Let's not quite go that extreme. But what I am saying is for your body to steadily digest foods and make the most of the nutrients, you're probably going to need foods which have been less processed. Not for the entirety of your diet, but just a good chunk of it. Think potatoes, rice, even whole grain pastas. They are foods which are great for energy, slowly get digested around the system, and actually help to keep you full. Stacking that with protein, which also helps keep you full, you can eat a low-calorie diet without it crashing your energy levels. And these will take you way further than any supplement ever could. And mistake 5, the final mistake that most guys are guilty of, is just not tracking anything and winging it. You wonder why you don't make progress, but you're not measuring or tracking anything. If you're going on a journey, somewhere that you've never been before, you'd always use a map to get there, so you knew the route you had to take. When it comes to fat loss, people just guess. They don't actually systemize it, so it's a journey they're going on. Tracking calories gives you a daily target of exactly what to focus on, so you know you're in a calorie deficit, and your body can start burning through the stored fat cells to get rid of it. But if you're guessing your portions, guess what? You're probably going to be biased to what you want to think it is. I remember looking through one of my clients' calorie calculators, and they put in a slice of cake as 150 calories. I just thought, wow, that is very, very wishful thinking. We tracked it properly and it was 570. If you're guessing your portions and you're not actually properly tracking it, then it's no wonder you're not seeing the progress you want to be seeing. The other mistake is eating healthy, but still overeating. You can eat all the healthy foods that you want, but if it totals too many calories, your body's still not going to shift the weight. You could be eating avocados, beef, eggs, some of the most nutritious and healthy foods on the planet. But if that total amount of calories consumed of that comes to too many, then your body hasn't enough energy. It's not going to burn for any body fat. Because ultimately, all losing weight is your body using the calories within your system and then thinking, shit, I still don't have enough energy. Where should I get that from? Oh yeah, I'll get it from the body fat. And if it doesn't need to do that, it's not going to do that. That's why you need to track calories. Otherwise, you don't know the amount that you're actually putting into your body, and then you have nothing to really adjust apart from just trying to eat less. So track your calories, even if it's just a short-term thing you do. It's not something you have to do forever, that's fine. I personally don't mind tracking calories. I actually quite enjoy it. It gives me almost like a mini game to play every day, and it's like a goal and purpose that I'm striving towards every day to hit that calorie number. But I also understand for some people it can be quite stressful. So even if you just use it as a temporary tool, just to get you to that fat loss goal, or give you a better understanding of the amount of calories in your foods, so then when you stop tracking, you have a better idea and you can make better choices. That way you literally have the data within an app to make all the changes that you need to make within your diet. Look, fat loss and muscle building isn't about any extremes. It's about doing the boring, basic shit consistently. And if you fix the mistakes that are laid out today, then you stop guessing and progress actually becomes predictable. So if you've been trying to lose weight for a while and nothing's really stuck for you in this past, this shouldn't be a kick in the teeth of a bunch of things where you're thinking, oh shit, I've been doing this wrong. It should actually be a relief, because now you know exactly where you've gone wrong and what to fix. Because it might not even be that you need more willpower, it's just that you need to follow a better plan. So if you want to keep learning, you can watch the video on the screen now where I break down the worst mistake that every guy makes for fat loss, and trust me, you're probably making this mistake too. But if you're done guessing and you want someone to actually tell you exactly what to do based on your body, your lifestyle, your training, then you can click the link in the description and we can book a free 10-minute goal setting call where we'll discuss exactly where you're at right now, where it is you want to go, and see if we're a good fit to work together. Either way, I hope you found value from this video, and I'll see you in the next one.